Well, they did it. They did what was rumored on Wednesday afternoon. They made the change from what the original plan was, or I shouldn't even say original plan, as we'll talk all about it. They made the change from the story that they were telling, and they made a pivot. They probably thought that because of ticket sales were being low, they needed to make a pivot. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes is a match a lot of people do want to see, and that is a match I do want to see, but that match is 2 years too late. Cody Rhodes is officially the brand new WWE Champion 6 weeks before WrestleMania, and I predicted on Saturday, reviewing Elimination Chamber, that we were going to get a DQ in this match, and we were going to get interference from Jacob Fatu, and this was going to set up, excuse me, this was going to set up a fatal four-way match for WrestleMania between Randy Orton, Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes, and Drew McIntyre. And then Wednesday comes rolling around, and we get reports from Sean Ross Sapp, Dave Meltzer, PW Insider, that WWE plans on going in a different direction, and they want to deliver Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania this year. It's not because of the work that Drew McIntyre's doing. They just want to give the audience the bigger match. And sure, that is the bigger match out of the two options that you have, which is a fatal four-way or Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. I will start with the positive. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. I would be very disappointed if they didn't have a good build to their match at WrestleMania. We're having their first segment together next week with a contract signing. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes will be signing the contract for their WWE Championship match taking place at WrestleMania this year. I think it's going to be great. The build should be good, and I think the match is going to be even better. It is the night one main event of WrestleMania, more than likely, and so far we're 6 weeks out, and I cannot tell you who's going to win this match. I don't have a feel for it, man. I don't have a feel for it, but that's the positive. The positive is Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes should be a great feud. But here's the negatives. And there are more negatives coming out of this than there are positives, in my opinion. Okay? And I'm just telling you guys how I feel about this whole WWE Championship situation going into WrestleMania. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes is 2 years too late. And if you guys don't follow me on TikTok, go ahead and do so, because I made a TikTok video about it on Wednesday talking about how this match was 2 years too late. Cody Rhodes won the WWE Championship from Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. His first feud post-WrestleMania was AJ Styles. It was great. They had two banger of matches. Awesome. After that, they put Cody against Solo Sikoa's bloodline. And if you guys recall, at Money in the Bank 2024, the main event of that show was Solo Sikoa's bloodline against Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. And I know that the story was mostly between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton and their friendship or whatever. But that would have played perfect because Cody Rhodes was feuding with Kevin Owens at the end of the year in 2024. Randy Orton should have turned on Cody Rhodes in the summer of 2024, and we should have gotten a heel Randy Orton versus a babyface Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at the main event of SummerSlam. That is when this feud should have happened, not a year and a half later at WrestleMania in Las Vegas, because they want to get more ticket sales. And the second negative I have is I'm going to save Drew McIntyre for last. I understand that plans change and the card is always subject to change. We are 6 weeks out. We only have 4 matches of WrestleMania. So I feel like right now they are still trying to get matches together for this show. They don't even know what the entire card is going to be, more than likely, which is pitiful if you ask me. That entire WrestleMania card should be written in pen by November. They're probably still coming up with matches for that show. But just reading reports over the months and hearing about what the initial thought is, this is literally Plan E at this point. WWE, maybe F. WWE has gone to Plan F for WrestleMania. That's how much of a disaster this has been. So, the original plan, the original plan for the WWE, I'll say this. I'm going to put it easier this way. The plans for the main event of WrestleMania early on, I would say in the middle of 2025, was Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship and CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Was supposed to be the Night 2 main event of WrestleMania this year. Then, Seth Rollins got injured. And Seth Rollins getting injured changed a lot of plans. So we went from that to CM Punk versus Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight Championship. And we went to Roman Reigns versus Cody for the WWE Championship. And they even did an angle, a small angle, at Survivor Series, hinting that maybe we would get Roman Reigns versus Cody. And then the dumbasses in creative were like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. We've done Roman versus Cody 2 times as the main event of WrestleMania. If we do it again, we are burning out this crowd. So, we have to change it again. We're going to do this again. We're going to run it back. Then I believe at that point, they went to Roman Reigns and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, which is what we're going to get at WrestleMania. That is absolutely the Night 2 main event this year. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. And then for the WWE Championship, we went to Cody Rhodes being the challenger against Drew McIntyre. Now, we got that match tonight in the main event, of course, and, they did have a very good match. I am glad that was not the main event of WrestleMania. That would have been very disappointing if the match we got tonight was the main event of the biggest show of the year. For a main event of Smackdown, I thought it was very good. It went over well with the audience, but it has its criticisms, and that's what I'm giving it to it right now. But then they went from Cody to Drew. They're like, oh shit, we've done this match 3 times already. We have this angle of who attacked Jacob Fatu. Let's add Jacob Fatu in there. And then Plan E is like, oh, you know what? We might as well add Randy Orton in there. And then they realize, oh shit, tickets are not selling for WrestleMania. Tickets are staying at a stagnant attendance. They have consistent 36,000. That's way down compared to last year. And now, Plan F is what we're getting. So Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes was never the original fucking plan at WrestleMania. It's plan F. I just solved it out for you right there. And the biggest criticism I have about this is Drew McIntyre. It's not Drew McIntyre's fault, but Drew McIntyre didn't deserve to get fucked out of the main event of WrestleMania this year. This is the guy who put WWE on his back in the middle of the pandemic. He beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship 6 years ago in front of 0 fans. He went on to have a great WWE title reign in front of 0 fans. He then like a couple years later, in Philadelphia, beat Seth Rollins to win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40, only to lose in 5 minutes because he got cashed in on by Damian Priest. And now this year, he wins the WWE Championship in Gerland, Germany on January 9th. We're like, finally. This company is finally going to give Drew McIntyre a proper reign as the top champion. He'll lose it at WrestleMania more than likely, but I'm very excited to see what he does. And he was booked like shit as the WWE champion. Made to look like a coward every single week with Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu and just getting bitched around by them. Drew McIntyre had a horrible reign as WWE champion. And that's not his fault. That's Triple H's fault. It's Triple H's fault how he's fucked Drew McIntyre for the past year. Because this guy feuded with Damian. He had to wrestle Damian Priest at WrestleMania last year. Not like Damian Priest is terrible, but like Damian Priest is a mid-card wrestler. So he had Damian Priest last year at WrestleMania. He had to team up with Logan Paul to go up against Jelly Roll at SummerSlam this year. And then they feud him with Cody for the WWE title. Cody's first feud after John Cena was with Drew McIntyre. They had their first match together at WrestlePalooza. You guys remember that show? The first ever show on ESPN. It went over like a wet fart. Drew McIntyre should have won the WWE Championship on that night in the main event, and they didn't do it. Cody Rhodes went over very clean, retained the title. They continued the feud for whatever reason. Drew McIntyre lost again. They continued this feud after Drew got crossed Rhodes onto a steel chair. And they wait 2 months to give this guy the title. So you guys really see where I'm going with this? Triple H fucked up by not giving Drew McIntyre the WWE Championship at WrestlePalooza. Had he done that, he would have had a proper reign as the WWE Champion for about 5 months. And then you want to take it from him tonight? You know what? Fine. But you had him win that title January 9th at Berlin, Germany. You wasted a 3 stages of hell match for a title reign that lasted 2 months. Great job, Paul. I am very much convinced this company hates Drew McIntyre. I'm happy we're getting Randy versus Cody Rhodes. That's going to be great. But at the expense of Drew McIntyre, nah, I'm not a fan of that. Drew McIntyre doesn't deserve that. Drew McIntyre deserves better. So, That was the main thing that happened on SmackDown tonight. And the plans have changed for WrestleMania, at least on the SmackDown side of things. And they try to have people thinking Cody wasn't going to win with these little cameos from Sami Zayn on the show. Bro, Sami Zayn was never going to turn on Cody tonight. You guys have to be complete blithering idiots. This guy lost to Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble. In the company's eyes, Cody Rhodes is above Drew McIntyre. Why the fuck would they have Sami Zayn lose to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania and then have a feud with Cody Rhodes going to WrestleMania? That's, in their eyes, that's a downgrade for Cody Rhodes. I'm just saying. So, the new direction for SmackDown seems to be Randy Orton versus Cody for the WWE title. That's confirmed. We're probably going to get Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. And we'll get Sami Zayn versus what presume would be Trick Williams. So, those are your 3 main event upper mid card matches on the SmackDown side for WrestleMania. So, we are going to dive into everything else on the show. That was a very, very long intro, a 16-minute intro. I thank you. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. You know, I look at the numbers on the channel, and every single week, SmackDown always has the best numbers. I don't know what it is, man, about the show, or what I say about the show, but I appreciate you guys' support on Friday night. It really does mean a lot to me. And we're going to continue doing it. Not just on Friday night, but Mondays for Raw. And we'll be back Wednesday for AEW. So, Wednesday night, we'll be back with AEW. And we got a big week next week coming up for AEW, man. We got the AEW Revolution pay-per-view next Sunday night. Big show from Los Angeles, California. The Crypto.com Arena. So we'll be breaking that show down next week on the Big Fight Fuel channel. And then, of course, Raw and SmackDown as we just inch closer to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. So, alright, let's kick off the show. Let's get this show rolling. Randy Orton kicks off SmackDown in Portland. They start chanting, "You deserve it," RKO. Randy talks about striking when the moment was right. And for how much he respects Cody Rhodes, the moment was right. Because he walked into the venue today. This was his other thing he was talking about. He walked into the venue today, and he looked up at the WrestleMania sign. He was doing his training or whatever. And then it hit him that Randy Orton has had 20 matches at WrestleMania, and only 2 of them have been main events, and it's about to be 3. He says, "This year, I have a chip on my shoulder going into Las Vegas." He didn't care if it was Drew McIntyre. He didn't care if it was Cody Rhodes. He's walking in with a chip on his shoulder. He's putting all the chips in the middle, and he's walking out of Vegas as the WWE Champion. Trick Williams then came out to interrupt him. Trick Williams cut his own promo. Randy was laughing it off with Trick Williams. Randy seems to enjoy working with Trick Williams. I noticed that in the beginning of the year in January on their international shows, and then building up to the Chamber. So I feel like Randy loves working with Trick. So that's good for Trick, because Randy's one of the bigger names in WWE. And then Trick was about to say his line, "Lemon, pepper, steppers." He got the peppers and then ate an RKO. And the crowd went wild. So, solid start to SmackDown. And we went from that to a Carmelo Hayes United States Championship Open Challenge, and we went outside the box. We didn't get somebody like Matt Cardona, who's a scrub, or Shinsuke Nakamura. No offense to him, but they've been booking him like shit. We went to AAA for Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., who accepted this challenge. Thought they had a fine match. Carmelo Hayes won with the, not the code breaker, the all net. He hit all net on Dr. Wagner Jr., retained the U.S. title. They shook hands after the match. And that was that. It was a good match. And just another title defense. I think that's 7 now for Carmelo Hayes. So he's on his way to having a good reign as United States champion. We had a tag team celebration of Nia Jax and Lash Legend. This segment was basically to set up a number one contender match. We got Charlotte and Alexa against Kiana James and Julia. Once again, in these tag team matches, they protected Kiana James. Julia is the United States champion, but they're keen on protecting Kiana. I think they're going to split these two up in the future, probably after WrestleMania, but Julia is not wrestling Io Sky like a lot of people want to, and I think there's a reason for that. Because I think she's going to drop her U.S. Championship to Kiana James, and then hopefully Julia can get elevated to the main event scene on SmackDown. But Charlotte and Alexa, they won that match. Charlotte pinned Julia with natural selection, and we have Charlotte and Alexa Bliss against Nia Jax and Lash Legend for the tag titles coming up. Whatever. Okay, this was a hot mess. This was easily the worst thing on the entire show. We had a tag team turmoil. We had Fraxium. We had Motor City Machine Guns. We had Los Garzas, the Wyatt Six, and Damian Priest and R-Truth. Who are the two best tag teams in this match? It is no doubt Motor City Machine Guns and Fraxium, who, by the way, get the least amount of TV time. Who is the makeshift tag team in this match? It is Damian Priest and R-Truth. Who did WWE end up booking to go over in this tag team turmoil? Damian Priest and R-Truth. That's everything you need to know about how WWE views tag team wrestling. They have tag teams like Fraxium and the Motor City Machine Guns, and they go with Damian Priest and R-Truth. And not only that, but the Wyatts costed the MFTs costed the Wyatts again. Both Tongans costed Loomis and Gacy their match against Los Garzas. So you know that feud's continuing. It's garbage. How far we have fallen down from last August and that fantastic 6-team TLC match for the tag team titles of SmackDown. And now we're reduced to this. 6 weeks before WrestleMania, Damian Priest and R-Truth are challenging for the tag team titles. You will not see those other tag teams. You will not see them on TV. They might appear in backstage shticks or whatever, but they won't have prominent roles on TV. They won't. And they botched the first fall. They botched it. I think it was Sabin who got hit with the high-low, and Shelley tried to put the foot on the rope, but he didn't get it there in time, and the referee counted 3, and did he break it up or not? It was just a complete mess. Then Los Garzas came out, and they beat Fraxium clean. And then the Wyatts came out to wrestle Los Garzas, and they lost because Tongaloa and Tama Tonga distracted Gacy and Lewis and Loomis. So the finals was Los Garzas against Damian Priest and R-Truth, and Damian Priest and R-Truth win. It's actually, that's sad when you think about it. That is really sad. Where we were in the summer, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, DIY when Ciampa was in WWE and not in AEW, Rey Fenix and Andrade when Andrade was in WWE, the Street Profits. The Street Profits weren't even in this match. They haven't been on TV since Clash in Paris, since I remember. And then you had the Wyatts in that match as well. Where we went from that to Damian Priest and R-Truth versus the MFTs for the tag team titles. How the mighty have fallen. That's a damn shame, man. That is a damn shame. Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. This was strange. This was not a good segment. And they had the easiest layup ever. And they had the easiest layup ever. All they had to do was talk about what they were fucking arguing about on social media all weekend long last week. Because they were going at it all day Sunday and all day Monday on social media. I know that because of the tweets that were trending and all that stuff. I didn't really look too much into it. I know Jade Cargill said something about Rhea going to creative and trying to get rubbing elbows with creative or something like that. And they talked nothing about that. Not a peep. They talked about body physiques and how Rhea has a body of fighting and Jade has a body of attraction. I'm like, what is this? 6 weeks before WrestleMania, this is what we're talking about? This is how you're going to get people excited for your match? I don't think so. That's not going to get me excited. I want to hear about why you're arguing on social media. I want to hear Rhea talk shit on Jade, how she's not defending the title. I want to hear Jade talk shit on Rhea, how she's had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity in this company. Because of how much Triple H loves Rhea Ripley. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear this. This was trash. Trash, man. This wasn't good. This wasn't good for their first encounter. And that first encounter, it sets the tone. Look at Punk and Roman Reigns. their first encounter in a promo battle they had with each other about over a month ago now in Philadelphia was incredible. And they made the match official, and it set the tone for how their build for WrestleMania this year was going to be. Now, they had a segment on Monday which wasn't as better as their first one, but now they got personal. It's all about that first interaction. And this one didn't go over well. So, we'll see. Hopefully they can do better next time. But we have Candice LeRae motivating Johnny Gargano that she's Johnny. He's got to go back to being Johnny Wrestling and being one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. We're not going to lay on the floor like this. So Johnny gets up. He's all motivated. He's like, I'm going to the ring. And he says something like, what was it that he said? I saw it on Twitter earlier, and I can't remember, so. I have to find it now. Hold on. Here we go. Johnny said, inside this ring, I am one of the best professional wrestlers in the world, and I'm tired of pretending like I'm not. That's that 2019 Johnny Gargano coming out right there. It's about time everybody remembers who I am, but more importantly, it's time that I remember who I am. I need to be Johnny Wrestling, and that needs to start tonight. So he calls out anybody from the locker room, and he ends up wrestling Obafemi. And Obafemi squashes this poor guy in about 45 seconds. And that was the end of that. And, yeah, we had more Danhausen cursing The Miz if he doesn't mentor him. Monday's segment was way better with the Judgment Day. And then the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was working over the arm. They were fighting. They had a really rough spot. So they were going to do a callback to the 3 stages of hell with the crossroads through the announce table. And Drew countered it. And the table just collapsed. So that was an awkward moment right there. And then they're in the ring. And, of course, in a WWE Championship main event, what's the one guarantee we get in the Triple H era? A fucking ref bump. That's right, baby. We get a ref bump. Charles Robinson goes down. Almost gets hit on 2 different occasions. I'm like, okay, they're obviously going to do a ref bump here. He eats a disaster kick. They're wrestling for a little bit. Cody Rhodes crossroads him. He calls down the official. The official comes down. Cody turns around, eats a Claymore kick, and Drew kicked and Cody kicked out. So now Drew is getting frustrated, and he takes it out on the referee. The second referee gives him a Glasgow's kiss. He goes to the outside. He grabs a steel chair. He is about to hit Cody with this steel chair. And Jacob Fatu grabs it out of his hands. And he bails with the chair, not letting Drew do what he wants to do. Cody Rhodes goes to the top. Super cutter off the top rope. Crossroads. And Cody Rhodes is a 3-time WWE champion. And no, I was not in attendance for this one because I was in attendance for the other 2 times he won the WWE Championship. Not tonight. Not all the way in fucking Portland, Oregon. Hell no. But very good match. Glad it didn't happen on WrestleMania because that match would not have been WrestleMania main event worthy. But it was a very good match. And they changed plans again. So I feel bad for Drew McIntyre. That's my biggest thing coming out of this is I feel bad for Drew McIntyre. Cody versus Randy is going to be great, but not at the expense of Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre deserved to not only go into WrestleMania as the WWE Champion, but main event it as well. Was he going to win that potential Fatal 4-Way match? I mean, I highly doubt it. There's always that chance, but I highly doubt Drew was walking out of WrestleMania as the champion. But even him walking into it as the champion, I felt like would have been great. You got these three baby faces chasing after the heel champion, and now because ticket sales are down and they're 18% down from last year right now. WWE got desperate and they wanted to deliver on Rhodes versus Orton this year, and it's about a year and a half late. So that is my Smackdown review here on the Big Fight Fuel channel. I appreciate you guys checking it out. Subscribe if you haven't already. We will be back here Monday night for Monday Night Raw live from Seattle, Washington. Right now, there's only two things advertised for that show. We have Obafemi versus Rusev. And we have, guess what? Another gauntlet match. We got basically a tag team gauntlet tonight. Guess what? We're getting another gauntlet match Monday night. We got Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, Asuka, Raquel Rodriguez, Io Sky, and Ivy Nile. Why the fuck is Ivy Nile in that match? That seems weird to me. So I think either Raquel or Ivy Nile are going to win and challenge AJ Lee for that Intercontinental title. But we'll find out Monday together. So, alright guys, have a good night. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday night for Raw. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. And I'm out. Peace.